Next article. BP and the Coast Guard have threatened to arrest journalists for covering the oil-polluted shoreline in Louisiana. U.S. Coast Guard's motto is Semper Paratus, in Latin meaning always ready or always prepared. In the case of BP's Gulf oil disaster, the Coast Guard is apparently always prepared to prevent the media from covering Louisiana's oil-soaked Gulf shoreline. CBS journalists were threatened with arrest by BP contractors and the Coast Guard when they attempted to film the beach. And they got a video here you can watch. "This is BP's rules, not ours," someone aboard the boat said. In other words, BP is running the show, not the Coast Guard or the government. Oh, so BP can tell me to stay off the beach. They own the beach now. They committed this unbelievably horrific act, and now they own it all, evidently, by default. That makes a lot of sense. Carl Burkhart, writing for Mother Jones, reports numerous unconfirmed reports of cameras and cell phones being confiscated, scientists with monitoring equipment being turned away, and local reporters blocked from access to public lands impacted by the oil spill. But wait, writes Burkhart, isn't this a public beach? From my viewpoint, it looks as though the Coast Guard has been given direct orders to protect BP's public relations interests, above safety concerns over air and water quality, above the outcries of local governments in need of aid, and worst of all, above the need for the American public to be informed about what's really going on in the Gulf. Here's another one. At what cost? It's entitled, At What Cost? BP spill responders told to forego precautionary health measures and cleanup. This is from Venice, Louisiana. Local fisher, and again, I've got all this linked. You can click in all these links and see this for yourself. Local fishermen hired to work on BP's uncontrolled oil leak in the Gulf of Mexico are scared and confused. Fishermen here and in other small communities dotting the southern marshes and swamplands of Baratia Bay are getting sick from working in the cleanup. Yet BP is assuring them they don't need respirators or other special protection from the crude oil and its strong hydrocarbon vapors or chemical dispersants being sprayed in massive quantities on the oil slick. You don't need any. Oh, come on. You don't need any of that. You just probably need a vaccine, maybe. Or some more drugs. Fishermen have never seen the results from air quality monitoring patches some of them wear on their rain gear when they are booming and skimming the giant oil slick. However, more and more fishermen are suffering from bad headaches, burning eyes, persistent coughs, sore throats, stuffy sinuses, nausea, and dizziness. They are starting to suspect that BP is not telling them the truth. Oh, I wonder why. So the very fishermen whose livelihoods are gone, they're done. They're going to have to move, I don't know how far this is going to spread, but they'd have to move to another part of the planet. The very fishermen whose livelihoods are, they're killing those very fishermen in the cleanup effort. What's one of the main things it's doing? It's benzene. This is an article entitled "Benzene the Killer Plans to Evacuate the Gulf Population." Now again, I haven't been able to get verification on this evacuation of Florida. Okay? But all I can tell you is I've gotten several emails from individual people that are saying that there are National Guard units mobilizing in different parts of the country that I believe are being sent to Florida. All kind of chatter regarding this, where Florida could literally be evacuated or be on lockdown, martial law, the whole 9 yards. I don't know. I'm just telling you. I'm giving you a little bit of a heads up. I mean, if this is as bad as we're saying, and it's at least this bad, there's going to have to be some really horrific things that happen as a result of it, most likely. Because you can't suppress this forever. Benzene, incredible amounts of benzene are being released into the atmosphere, and it is clear and is a clear and present danger not only for old people with respiratory problems, but with the Gulf population in general. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, or the IARC, has determined that benzene is a human carcinogen and can cause various forms of cancer from prolonged exposure. Exposure to high level of benzene show association with leukemia cancer, including acute myelogenous leukemia, acute lymphocytic leukemia, and chronic myelogenous leukemia. Benzene-related leukemias have been reported to develop in as short as 9 months. Aromatic liquid that evaporates quickly into the air can dissolve in water. Remember, this stuff evaporates quickly into air. Benzene is present in crude oil, gasoline, and cigarette smoke. It is industrially used as a solvent in paints and other chemicals and products such as dyes, detergents, nylon, plastics, drugs, and pesticides. Benzene is widely used in the U.S. It ranks in the top 20 chemicals for production volume, and it makes up about 1% of every gallon of gasoline. The International Agency on Cancer has determined that benzene is a human carcinogen and can cause various forms of cancer from prolonged exposure. Now, if this goes into the loop current, and if it loops around, it'll loop around down Florida's west coast, around the bottom, and then up the other side. I believe this is the Gulf Stream we're in reference to. And then that'll go right up the side of America. Okay? And benzene's being released. Florida will at some point most likely be hit from both sides. You'll be like a sandwich in this benzene stream. Really from three sides. Because it'll go down the coast, down the bottom, and up the other side. So Florida would probably be the worst place you could be, because you would be right in the middle of it, which is where I am, and I'm greatly praying about what the Lord wants me to do here at this point. And again, this is why I do these teachings, to give you a heads up. The Bible says that my children are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Okay? And this is one thing, those things that you could be destroyed on. And again, I can't sit here and tell you, do this, do that. I'm telling you, I'm putting the information out. You pray, you fast about it. You see the way the Lord leads you. According to the IARC, benzene is considered, quote, the mother of all carcinogens, end of quote, as a large number of carcinogens have structures that include benzene rings. This is it's depopulation. It's order out of chaos. It's killing. It's destroying. It's killing livelihoods. It's killing people. That's going to be the fruit of all of this. And it was all by design. Every bit of it. I'm going to go ahead and end part 1 there, and we'll go to part 2 next.